Yeah, definitely gutted for Donovan. I hope they get the immediate rematch by the IBF. He deserves it.
And how did he do it? I want to give a quick analysis. He controlled the outside. He was the better fighter. Again, Crocker, tough guy. But all he did was cover up and walk forward. You know what it looked like his plan was? To break him down mentally and physically. It wasn't working. Like, just to walk in and deteriorate by the pressure, hope to deteriorate Donovan as it got late. It wasn't working. Donovan was a class above. He was a better fighter. He was a more skilled, I'm sorry, he was a more complete fighter, you used the word before, Crocker was one-dimensional. Yes, he was. Donovan is multi-dimensional. He's a southpaw, he can box on the outside, he can fight on the inside. And he could also give angles. He did a little of each. He boxed on the outside, as I said. You know, he made him go through a bad neighborhood and he mugged him. That's what he did. And he caught him coming in. And then he said, the hell, okay, now it's time to go inside and start eating him up on the inside with short combos and defense in between. And he started doing that. And it was dominating the fight. He had a good fight plan, him and Andy Lee, his trainer. They executed it. He was going to stop him. I think he did stop him. I think it was a knockout. Huh?
Yeah, credit to Andy Lee. He's doing a hell of a job. One of the top trainers down in the game. And, yeah, he was levels above him. He was clearly...
And one other thing, Bud. I don't remember the former fighter. I hope you do. He was one of the commentators. I give him full credit. I give him 100% credit because he basically said
Tony
what
Bello?
I'm saying. Yeah, he was terrific. He deserved... You got all my respect, Tony. You a lot of times you guys with the mics, you keep your mouth shut when you should open them. And you don't say what needs to be said when it needs to be said. You did say what you had to say about how you felt about that fight.
Yeah, the last thing I just want to say before we move on, the ref was clearly not in position, was awful throughout the fight. He botched this to say the least. With that being said, the punch was clearly after the bell. For the viewers out there, how should have this fight ended? Should he have been given time to recover? And if he could not recover, we just go to the scorecards?
That's a great question, Bud. You know, I mean, it's a great question. I just see the thing that really bothers me is it didn't just happen in that round. It was the way the ref was behaving for rounds and rounds before that. How he was just kept warning only one guy. And then he took points away twice, right? He took points away for head. I don't even know what it was for. I guess the head, the elbow, the head. Yeah. So he took points away. But they were both in there with their heads. I don't think that you could really show any evidence. I didn't see the replay on the elbow. There might have been an elbow in there. Okay, I didn't see that. I know I tried to see it and I missed it and they didn't show it again. But I don't think there's any evidence that you could say, you know, in a definitive way that Donovan was trying to billy goat the guy on the inside. He didn't need to. I mean, when he went inside, Crocker was right there. I mean, that was Crocker's style to come forward. Crocker didn't move his head. He came forward. Again, I think he was looking to evaporate physically and mentally evaporate Donovan. That was his plan, to just keep coming forward until he wore down Donovan. The problem was he was getting chewed up with punches. He was going through a grinder trying to do that, and it showed. Now, look, that's my problem, that this referee looked like he had an agenda to disqualify this guy, to interfere with this fight, and put his handprint on this fight. Put his freaking his handprint on this fight, where he was not the fighters, but he was going to determine the outcome or have some influence on the outcome. And he did. That's my problem. And then when he got hit the last one, go ahead, warn him. Yeah, there was no warnings. All the other stuff was for supposedly headbutts. There was no warnings about late punches. You're just gonna in a big fight, like you're just gonna disqualify the guy. You're not gonna You're not going to step in. You're not going to step in. Step in, take 2 points away. Step in, take a point away. Step in and one. And that's another thing. He actually helped. I forgot this part. He actually, oh my goodness, he actually helped Crocker get up. You're the ref. You're not supposed to help him get up. That's his corner. That's not your job. Or was it your job? Were you part of the corner? You sure look like you were. You sure look like you were. So, to answer your question, take a point away you want. Give him time. See if he recovers. Ask him. We've had a precedent for this. Gennaro Hernandez got hit late. The great Gennaro Hernandez, he's up in heaven now. He got hit late against Azuma Nelson. He could have won the title. The referee asked him, you want time? You want me to disqualify him? He said, no. Give me a little time. He took a few minutes. He went back, and he wound up losing a decision, if my memory's correct, Bud, to Azuma, the great Azuma Nelson. He could have won the title right there. He had it. He didn't want to win that way. UFC has a precedent for that. Anthony Smith, the great Lionheart, he could have won a title like that against the GOAT. Am I correct?
John Jones. Yeah.
John
Jones.
Yeah. He got hit with a punch that was not a legal punch or kick, whatever it was. And he could have won by disqualification. He chose not to. He chose the behavior of a fighter. He said, no, I'm not, but he got that choice. The referee, to answer your question now, I'm sure what my answer is. The referee should have went down that road and asked Crocker, you need time? What do you want to do?